start off this install, we're first going to plug in the handheld device to our OBD2 port, which is located right here under the steering wheel, the bottom of the dash. You'll see our handheld will power up, and we can now select our options. We can tune, we can scan for diagnostic trouble codes, and then we've also got device info here. We're going to select tune. It's asking us to turn the ignition on without starting the engine. Once we do that, we can push OK for on. It's connecting with our vehicle. It's now loading our vehicle application based off the VIN data that was just secured. Now we have our options here. We can tune the vehicle, or we can go into our quick options. The quick options menu allows you to change things like your TPMS settings, the RPM idle up, DPF manual and mobile regen, and then we can also do a relearn. But right now we're going to work through installing an actual tune. But in 2017, GM did lock the ECM, so before we can flash the tune into it, we need to unlock that ECM. This is a brand new process that's completely new to the market. No one has done this in the vehicle with a programming device. So we'll walk you through the steps to do that with our new Locksmith. It says to unlock, you must connect this device to the update agent to retrieve the support files for this vehicle. Once the files have been delivered, you may unlock. So we're going to press OK. It's going to reset the device, and we're going to have to unplug from our OBD2 port now and walk into our PC and plug into our update agent software, where we can download the latest files that are specific to your vehicle into the device, which will then allow us to unlock it and flash the vehicle. So we're going to turn off our ignition, remove the key, and we're going to unplug the handheld, and then we're going to walk into our PC and update the handheld. Alright, so we've moved into our PC. If you haven't already downloaded our update agent software, you can visit edgeproducts.com. Select the support tab here at the top. The very first option here on the left is software updates. And select there. We can scroll down and find update agent 1.0. We can download this for a Mac or download for a PC. So you'll want to download that, make sure that it's saved into the computer. Once that's done, we can open our update agent software. You can see here. Once it's open, you can see that it's asking us to connect our device. So using the Evo HT2 and the cable that was included in the package, you can plug it in here right at the bottom of the device, which will then power it up, putting us into USB mode. Now the computer and the update agent software will automatically locate that device. You can see it's loaded our serial number and our SKU. This is the part number for the device. It also has now the VIN that was captured when we plugged into the truck just a moment ago. So it's checking the device. There are updates available and asks if we want to install them. We will select yes. The GM unlock code has now been delivered to the device. We can select OK. The update agent was able to get the engine stock files onto the device successfully. You may now tune your vehicle with this device if you have also received the GM unlock code. So now we're downloading the files we need. It'll only take a minute. It has now put our operating system onto the device. Select OK. Now it's asking us to reboot the device. Press the OK button on the device for 3 seconds in order to finish the update process. So we're going to press and hold OK. You'll see the device will power down. Powered back up. It says your device is up to date. It is now safe to unplug the device. So we're going to disconnect from the PC. And select OK on the update agent software to close it out. Now we can move back to the truck, unlock the ECM, and then install our flash tuning. Okay, so we're back in the cab of the truck. We have just plugged our Evo HT2 into our PC and done the latest update to make sure we have the correct operating system files for our specific truck. Now we're going to walk through unlocking that ECM. So we plug the device into the truck. Select OK to tune vehicle. gonna ask us to turn our ignition on without starting. Press OK. It's now gonna reconnect, making communications with the ECM. We want to tune the vehicle. It says this E41 engine controller is locked. To enable tuning, follow the included guide for connecting the E41 unlock cable. You may now install the cable. So we're going to exit the vehicle and install our Locksmith device. Okay, here we are under the hood. We need to locate the underhood fuse panel, which is here on the driver's side fender well. With the arrows pointing to the tabs that you need to depress, you can unclick those and lift up on the front of the fuse lid and then lift it out of position. Now on the underside of the lid, you can see all of the fuses and the names of each. For the unlock process, we need to find the ECM TCM fuse, which is number 57, which you'll see located right up here in the front passenger side corner. Now the ECM TCM fuse is a 3-blade fuse, so it will stand out quite predominantly as it is larger than the other fuses in the area. It's a 15 amp fuse and we just need to remove it. Obviously we want to make sure that our key is out of the ignition. Pull that 3-blade fuse out and we will set it aside because we will be reinstalling that once our unlock process is completed. We can grab the included 3-blade fuse tap and our unlock cable that came with the Locksmith device. Now installing this fuse into that ECM location, you want to make sure that the blade for the tap is facing the driver's seat farthest away from the front of the vehicle. So it should face the cab of the pickup and not the grille. Once that's done, we can unstring our unlock cable. And connect the fuse blade. Simply wiggling it into place, making sure that it's secure. We will then route this wire around the A-pillar and through the open window of the truck. And we will now move into the cab and make our connections at the OBD port. All right, so we've plugged in our unlock cable under the hood. Now we're going to install the other end of that cable, the OBD end, into the OBD2 port of the truck. And then we can take this smaller connector and plug it directly in to the base of the Locksmith module. You'll hear it click, make sure that it's secure. At this point, we can then plug our Evo HT2 handheld into the Locksmith device. This will finish our series. And you'll see that our Evo HT2 will then power up. Again, we want to select tune and turn the ignition on without starting the engine. We will then select OK. You'll hear the Locksmith making some click noises as it is sending power through that ECM fuse tap, making connections with our vehicles. It's checking the requirements. It says we are ready to begin the engine unlock process. This process will take up to 15 minutes. Make sure your vehicle's battery has a good charge. Are you ready to continue? Press the left arrow for no. Press OK for yes. Press OK. It is now preparing to unlock the module. Now you'll see it start working through the unlock process. Again, this is something that has not been done in the market before. Edge Products' engineers have been working on this tirelessly for quite a while. A few years ago, we didn't think this would ever be possible, and I know our competition thinks that it's still not possible. So this is really big for the L5P market. This is really big for the automotive tuning market. This is a process that we have worked through, and we have got all the bugs out, and it is working flawlessly for us. So we will able to be tuning the 2017 through 2019 L5Ps. This process will also work in the 2020 to 22 models. We haven't released that for the market yet, but it is coming here shortly, as we are working on some TCM support for that application still. But we're only a couple of weeks behind the release of this 17 to 19 model. Once the ECM is unlocked, the locksmith can be unplugged and set aside. We will not need to use that anymore in the future, so we can then install our flash tuning as many times as we'd like. With just the handheld, we will not need to use the unlock process in the future. So we've just about completed our ECM unlock process. We're on the final step here. Unlock has been completed. Press OK to continue. Remove the unlock cable, replace the original fuse, then connect this tuner to your vehicle's OBD2 port. You may now unplug the tuner and begin. So at this point, we're going to turn off our ignition, remove the key. We're going to unplug our Evo HT2 from the Locksmith device, and then we can remove the Locksmith and the unlock cable. We reinstall our fuse, and then we can walk through the flash process. We've disconnected our unlock cable from in the cab of the truck, our locksmith cable. We need to disconnect the wire tap by pulling the fuse out of the fuse box altogether. We can then set this aside. It will not be used any further in the future. We then need to reinstall our original fuse back into that factory location, making sure that it is seated properly. We can reinstall fuse box lid. Make sure that it clips in secure to make sure that it keeps it sealed and all the moisture out. Now we can move into the cab and install our flash tuning. Alright, so we have the ECM unlock process completed, and we can now walk through installing the performance tunes and flashing the ECM with our edge calibrations. Again, we can add as much as 150 horsepower to the rear tires with this device. You'll have your choice of different tunes to select, but first we want to select a tune. It's going to ask us to turn the ignition on without starting the engine. We'll select OK. We want to tune the vehicle. Select OK. Now here we have our option of the different tunes. We have stock with options, which allows us the factory power levels, but we can go in and change some of the feature sets. We've got our economy, which is great for a daily driver, good for overall fuel mileage, freeway driving, etc., etc. We've got our heavy trailer tune, which is good for heavy towing. So this is a 75 horsepower tune. Great for towing a big trailer like a big gooseneck with a tractor on it, RV trailer, something like that. We also have our light trailer tune, which is a little bit more horsepower, good EGT control, but this one is best for a lighter load like towing your boat to the lake, or a couple of side-by-sides, or a couple of quads on an open trailer. And then of course we've got our extreme tune, which is the all-out performance, the most power gains we can get. So we're going to select that extreme tune. It says this is designed for non-towing applications. Towing is not recommended in this power level. It's obviously because of the major increase in low-end torque and power. Want to keep in mind the safety of the drivetrain, EGT control, soot accumulation, etc., etc. So stick to the light and heavy trailer tunes for towing, but this extreme one will definitely put you back in the seat. We've seen anywhere between 520 to 535 horsepower to the tires with this specific tune. So now we have the ability to customize our options. By doing so, we can make all of these changes all within the device, so you can kind of fine tune our pre-calibrated tunes to better suit your driving needs. So we have the ability to adjust your rev limiter, we can change the speed limiter, we can leave it at the stock, or we can go to a raised value. By going to the raised value, I believe it's set at 200 miles an hour. So if you're going to the drag strip, doing quarter-mile testing, etc., we don't have to worry about that speed limiter becoming an issue. We can adjust for gear ratio. This is obviously for you guys that have changed your ring and pinions. If you've done a big set of aftermarket tires and have changed from your factory gearing to a 410 or 488 or whatever it might be, this device will allow you to calibrate for that. Now the other big one is the tire size. This one will allow you to calibrate your speedometer to be accurate once you've installed a larger tire on the truck. The one thing to remember is that the device wants your tire size in inches, but we need the actual tire size, not what's printed on the side. Very rarely will you find a 35-inch tire stands 35 inches once it's mounted and balanced and on the truck. So just because it says it's 1150 or a 35, 1150, 20, doesn't mean it's actually 35 inches tall. So take a tape measure, measure the height of the tire on the truck, and input that number to get your most accurate speedometer readout. This truck's still running a factory tire, so we don't really need to mess with this, but we can adjust all the way up to a 30-inch or a 38-inch tire here. The keep drive mode. Now this is a super nice feature that you guys that do a lot of towing will appreciate. By doing this, we can remember the last button setting on your tow haul and on your exhaust brake features. So if you're someone that does a lot of towing, you're stopping for fuel every couple of 100 miles. Every time you shut the truck off, normally when you restart the truck, you have to re-engage your tow haul, you have to turn your exhaust brake back on. With this feature, we can remember those button settings. So every time you shut the truck off, when you restart the engine, it's gonna be exactly where you left off. So if you shut it off in tow haul, when you restart, it'll still be in tow haul mode. Super nice feature. There are some guys that prefer daily driving in tow haul mode because of the different shift strategies, converter lockup. So this will remember where you've left at. The buttons still function as stock. It's just going to remember where you left off when you shut the truck off. The other nice feature with the Evo HT2 for this L5P is our throttle boost. This allows you to change the sensitivity in your pedal. Obviously, we're making some changes in our calibrations to make the driving experience better than stock, but we do give you the control to fine tune that throttle sensitivity to what you prefer personally. So if you like a nice touchy pedal, you can change this all the way up to a stock plus 50% pedal sensitivity. Me personally, I have found that the 20% or 25% throttle sensitivity is best for my kind of driving and daily around town, stop and go traffic, out on the freeway. It's a good sensitive pedal without being jumpy. It works really well for my style. But again, you can adjust this and try the different settings to fine tune the driving experience for what you feel is best. So we're going to set this at the stock plus 25. We can also adjust our RPM in idle when we're in park or in drive. Once we've selected all of the modifications we want to make to the calibration, we can select continue. And now the device will start walking through building that new file that we've just created and downloading it into the truck. The flash process on this 2017 to 2019 truck only takes a couple of minutes. Once that ECM is unlocked, this is a super simple process of changing from one tune to the next. So we're going to establish communications with the ECM. It's now preparing it for flash. And now we're going to walk through downloading those files into the ECM. At this point of the download, I would like to reiterate the fact that all of our tuning, all of our flash programs have been run through our in-house emission cell. So we have already gone ahead and tested all of these programs with the CARB certified, EO certified tests so that we know that these tunes will pass at CARB. We've got our application submitted at CARB waiting for approval, but we have confidence in knowing that these tunes are safe for the environment. These are friendly for your emissions equipped truck, safe on the DPF, safe on the EGR system. These tunes run really clean, but add a major amount of horsepower and torque down low. You will definitely feel the difference running these tunes in your factory truck. We also make our calibrations in factory trucks, so there are no other modifications needed in order to install one of our flash tuners. you know, running a cold air intake, a DPF back exhaust, those sort of things will amplify the results from the flash tuning, but they're not required. This is a 100% stock truck with no changes other than the flash tuning. So for those guys that just looking for a little bit more out of their pickup, or if you've got a lift and larger tires and want to adjust the speedometer, this is a great option. And with our built-in Locksmith being able to unlock your ECM, you're going to save a bunch of money not having to do your ECM swap or your cores, purchase custom tuning, etc., etc. So this is a very cost-effective way to tune an L5P. You ought to check out edgeproducts.com to learn more about the whole process. But now that our tune has been downloaded, we can turn our ignition off. We'll select OK. It's now asking us to open, close, and lock the driver's side door while it waits for the ECM to fully shut down to avoid any check engine lights. So we've opened the door, closing it, and now we're going to lock. Now we just need to wait for the ECM to power down. The Extreme Tuning is now installed. We're going to select OK. And our Evo HT2 can be disconnected from the OBD port and set aside. And then if we ever want to change tunes to one of our towing tunes or the economy tune, it's just a matter of plugging the device back in. We can flash the other tune into the device, and we're back on the road. If you want to learn more about this product specific to the 17 to 19 L5Ps, or the tuning that is in development and will be releasing soon for the 2020 through 2022 models, you can visit us at edgeproducts.com. You can also stop by your local Edge Products dealer. Make sure to follow us on social media. Check out our YouTube channels. We've got a bunch of different instructional videos on this process and some of our other products. We look forward to hearing from you.